Welcome to a very special audio compilation. In September 2022, I had the opportunity to go on my very first cruise. And what an amazing experience it was. I did the New England and Canada cruise on board Royal Caribbean's Voyager of the Seas, which made stops in Portland, St. John, New Brunswick, Canada, near the Bay of Fundy, and Sydney, Nova Scotia. There was supposed to be a stop in Bar Harbor, but that didn't end up happening. Well, this cruise took place from September 18th to the 25th, again on Royal Caribbean's Voyager of the Seas. And what I'm going to present to you right now is a compilation of the sounds on board, and there will be a ton of PA announcements and maybe some clips of the elevators and what they sound like, and other sounds as well. Being blind, of course, to me, capturing audio is so valuable, and to me it's more valuable than taking pictures. So we have all this audio to go through. Now, I do apologize, the audio is not the highest quality, as most of it was recorded with a Victor Reader stream. However, I think you will find it to still be quite enjoyable, and I'm looking forward to bringing it to you. So, let's begin. Our first recording was made about 10 minutes after we boarded the ship in Boston. So this is Sunday, September 18th, 2022, at around 1 p.m. We were riding the elevator, deciding to go up and check out our stateroom, and soon after we arrived on deck 7, which was one of the stops on our way up to 9, a chime came over the PA with an announcement. So, let's give this a listen.
Deck 7.
Pardon me?
Doors opening. Going up. Doors closing.
Once again, a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Just want to remind you, whilst you are exploring the ship, we'd like to have you complete the mandatory guest safety briefing procedure. All you need to do is check in with your crew at your assigned assembly station. You'll find your station in the Royal Lounge, back at your station door, and in large print on your seat mask card. Remember, the sooner you check into your assigned station, the sooner you get back to having a good time. Also, we are expecting your statements to be ready at 2 o'clock. I will make another announcement to let you know when they are available, but we're looking at 2 o'clock for your statements to be available. In the meantime, sit back, relax, and enjoy the beautiful voyage of the seas. If you're feeling hungry and a bit peckish, you know, the Windjammer restaurant on deck 11. We have got the Cafe Promenade on deck number 5. And why not sit back and relax and enjoy the music in the sunshine with our live band over on the pool deck. Have a great day, and I'll be back with you at 2 o'clock.
That was the voice of Rob McNally, our cruise director, welcoming us on board the ship, reminding us that we needed to complete the mandatory safety briefing and that our rooms would be ready at 2 o'clock. That, of course, is something we did not know, as we were on our deck, deck 9, trying to see where our room was, and it wasn't quite ready yet. Of course, the announcement started, as you heard, with 4 notes of the Westminster chime, and a ding signified the announcement was over. And the first part of the announcement was recorded in the elevator on a speaker that was actually in the elevator somewhere, not sure where, maybe on the ceiling, and then the rest of it could be heard from the Deck 9 hallway. Now, about an hour later, after we went down to the Royal Promenade, got coffees and stuff at Cafe Promenade, visited our assigned muster station, our room was ready. We decided to check, and sure enough, it was open. Now, as we're settling in, exploring our room, I heard the faint 4 notes of the Westminster chime, and happened to catch most of this announcement.
Oh. Of the seas. I have great news. Your staterooms are now open and available for you to enjoy. So your staterooms are now open and ready for you to use. Yippee! Don't forget though folks, we are still showing some of our guests who are yet to complete the safety briefing. Now this safety briefing is mandatory for all guests and is conducted in compliance with international law. We cannot allow anyone who has not completed the safety briefing to sail with us today. So please, the sooner everyone checks in at their assigned assembly station, then the sooner we can set sail. Thank you again for your cooperation, and go on up and settle into your rooms, and then come back out and enjoy the beautiful music in the sunshine on deck number 11 and 12. Have a great day.
Now, who wouldn't be happy to find out that the rooms are finally ready? I know how eager I was to check my room out. And come on, people, complete those mandatory safety briefings. That was something we heard quite a bit. So after that announcement from Rob, our cruise director, a little while later, the captain was also coming on the PA, making those same announcements. Complete your safety briefings. Unfortunately, I did not get a capture of that. However, our next recording has something safety related, and we get to hear the voice of our captain. Now, this is a rare thing, as this was recorded in our room. Most announcements do not come through the speakers in the cabins, and instead you have to go out to the hallway to hear any announcements. But if it's urgent, they can bring those in to your cabin. So, let's hear what our captain had to say. Please note that a portion of this clip is rather loud. If you're sensitive to loud noise, I'd advise that you turn down your sound. Now, here we go.
Captain Thor speaking from the bits. At this time, I would like to thank you for your cooperation in completing your mandatory safety briefing. Immediately following this announcement, the emergency signal will be sounded. No action is required from you at this time. This signal is for your awareness in the unlikely event of a real emergency. Thank you for your attention, and please stand by for the emergency signal. If you hear the previous emergency signal, proceed directly to your assembly station. Please note that all emergency exits are always clearly marked and illuminated. Illuminated escape route signs will direct you to your assembly station throughout the ship. Should you become disoriented or need assistance, one of our assigned crew members will help guide you in the right direction using the nearest escape route. Do not use the elevators, as they may not work if there is a power failure. Guests who may require assistance using the stairs should notify their stateroom attendants in order to allow us to assist you if necessary. Once you have reached your assembly station, our crew members will check you in and provide you with further instructions. In the unlikely event we have to evacuate the ship, your assembly station crew will assign you to the survival craft in an orderly fashion. For children between 3 and 11 years old, youth safety wristbands can be found in your stateroom. Please make sure your children are wearing their wristbands at all times. There is nothing more important than your health and safety. Our medical staff, both doctors and nurses, are available during the listed hours in the Royal Caribbean app and in the Daily Compass. If you are feeling ill or unwell, please contact the medical facility by dialing 51. Our medical team will evaluate the guests either in the comfort and privacy of their stateroom or in the medical facility located on deck 1. If you experience a medical emergency, please dial 911. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our final safety briefing. Once again, I would like to thank you for your attention and cooperation. Now it's time to enjoy your cruise vacation. However, before I let you go, I just want to mention we are currently in the refueling. We are still refueling the ship for the upcoming cruise. There is a slight delay. We will sail around 6:30 once the fueling has completed. This will not delay our arrival time for tomorrow. The required speed going up to Portland is quite low, so we will easily be able to make up that lost time. So departure time, we will be sailing around 6:30 this evening. Other than that, welcome aboard the Voyager of the Seas.
A few interesting things about that clip. You may have noticed that the musical tone on the PA was different. So there is a different tone used for the cruise director and the captain. And that I found pretty neat. Allowed you to know who would be coming on the PA when you hear the chime. Also, you heard the emergency signal. And I was really glad they actually had it go off, because I figured with the new e-muster process they wouldn't do the alarm on board, but I was actually glad to get to hear it. With the new e-muster process, there is a spot in the Royal Caribbean app that lets you hear a sample of what the alarm would sound like, but it was good to get to hear the actual alarm. You'll notice, if you listen closely, that there are kind of three sounds mixed in there. A high-pitched whistle, a 1000 hertz PA tone, at least I think that's from the PA system, and some kind of bell. Very neat. Now, we had our dinner, we did set sail that night, and arrived in Portland. Let's hear what Captain Thor had to say as we docked in Portland, Maine.
This is Captain Thor speaking. We have arrived here in Portland. We are in the process of setting up the gangway. There is a little bit of an operation. The shoreside team needs to rig up their construction for the gangway. Once that has been done and the ship has been cleared, an announcement will be made that you are free to proceed and go ashore and enjoy your day here in beautiful Portland. The forecast is going to be cloudy today with some rain showers towards the afternoon. Onboard time this afternoon is at 4:30, and then we will sail shortly after. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, just stand by until the ship has been cleared and the gangway has been set, and enjoy your day in Portland.
That announcement came while we were on our way down to the main dining room for breakfast, so we were moving around a bit, so I do apologize for the quality of that announcement. Part of it was recorded in the elevator, and the rest of it was recorded on deck 3, which would be right around where the main dining rooms were located. Captain Thor gave us a good update, letting us know that we had arrived and that they were preparing the gangways to allow us to go ashore, as well as giving us a weather forecast for our day in Portland. Now, I'm sure a follow-up announcement was made. Unfortunately, I don't have that one, so I do apologize for that. Now, we're going to fast forward a bit and go to Tuesday, September 20th. We had some interesting things happen with arriving in St. John, New Brunswick, Canada. So, let's go ahead and check that out.
And gentlemen, due to some unforeseen heavy outbound traffic from port, our arrival to St. John this morning is about 30 to 40 minutes delayed. We do apologize for the inconvenience this might cause, and we'll keep you updated once the ship is safe moored alongside in St. John. Again, ladies and gentlemen, our arrival to St. John is delayed for about 30 to 40 minutes due to some unforeseen heavy outbound traffic from port.
My goodness, look at that. Thank you.
That announcement was made while we were having breakfast in the main dining room, and it came out very clear. I must have been very close to a speaker. I'm not sure who made that announcement, but yeah, we were delayed. So, coming back up to our room, I managed to catch most of this announcement, including the last note of the Westminster chime on the PA. So, I consider that a win. Let's give it a listen. Here's Cruise Director Rob McNally.
Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rob, your Cruise Director here. As you can see, we are docked and alongside. At the moment, we are still waiting for the port authorities to come on board and give the ship the clearance and also set the gangway. As you can see from the outside, it's a busy port this morning. They have been setting up all the ships and they are in the process of setting us up right now. So apologies for the delay. So once again, please do refrain from coming down to the gangway at this time. Once we've been cleared by the local authorities, we will give you another announcement. Thank you for your patience and understanding.
Okay, that's the right hallway then.
After our cruise director made his announcement, the captain came over the PA to give some updates on our arrival in St. John. Now, I actually managed to capture all of this one. However, there is a bit of background noise as there was some vacuuming going on in the hallway. However, the announcement is here and in full and complete with the 3-note attention signal musical chime from the PA. So, here it is.
A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Captain Thor speaking. We have arrived here in St. John. Slightly delayed. There was some traffic this morning. 3 cruise ships arriving and a few cargo ships departing at the same time. We only had one gang of linesmen to share between the ships. So we are in the process of securing the ship. Setting the gangways. The gangways will be located on deck 2 and the deck 4 today. We'll start on deck 2 and then as the tide goes out we will shift on to deck 4. Once the ship has been cleared and the gangway is set, we will make our announcement to let you know that you can go and proceed ashore and enjoy your day here in St. John. It is raining and that's what the forecast is saying for today. The temperature is 13 degrees Celsius or 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your day here in
A little while after that announcement, Captain Thor came back on the PA and made this announcement.
To set up the gangway. Seem to be some kink in their preparation, and they are in the process of setting the gangway for deck 2. Again, I do apologize for all these delays, which are out of our control, and I appreciate your understanding.
So finally, after that, things were set up and anyone who wanted to could get off and go do their excursions and check out the area. Now, for our next recording, we are going to go forward a number of hours to dinner time in the main dining room on Tuesday night, where it is time to leave St. John and start making our journey to the next port of call. Here's Captain Thor.
This is Captain Thor speaking. We have all guests and crew on board, just waiting for the pilot, and for the cruise ship to depart before we can cast off and head towards Sydney. Not in Australia, in Nova Scotia, where we'll be arriving on Thursday morning of the 8th. It's been raining today. There is a chance of fog in the forecast for tonight, and as I mentioned yesterday, when we are in reduced visibility, we need to sound the fog signal. Tomorrow, day at sea, partly cloudy skies, 18 degrees Celsius, 64 degrees Fahrenheit, and the wind from the west around 20 knots, so we should have a nice day at sea tomorrow. I just want to give you an update. Some of you might be aware of the Hurricane Fiona, who is heading northward towards the end of the week. Fiona should not affect us. She is forecasted to pass over the eastern part of Nova Scotia on Saturday, but on Saturday we will be back in Bar Harbor, so I do not foresee any issues from that. If there are any changes, I will of course. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you will have a fantastic evening and a sea day on board the Voyager tomorrow.
So no, we were not off to Australia, we were off to Sydney, Nova Scotia. Now, Wednesday on the Voyager was a sea day, which I actually quite enjoyed. Very relaxing. Good time to read and hang out. Spend some time up on the top deck. Quite a wonderful time. And I don't really have any recordings from that day, except for this. Now, this is a different sort of announcement. It is an alpha call. Now, I do want to say that alpha does mean medical emergency, and I definitely hope the person is okay. So, this is just a little clip of that announcement, and this was one of the rare ones that did come through the cabin. I want to say this was between 8 and 10 o'clock, I think. Not exactly sure on that, but here is this short clip.
Alpha, Alpha, Alpha. Deck 3, far zone 2, theater entrance.
Now, typically an alpha call is repeated, and I believe it might be 3 times. Now, I just got the tail end of that one, but it gives you a sense of it. And again, I do hope the person is doing well. Now, we're going to go to Thursday, which brings us up to September 22nd, and we're arriving at our final, what would end up being our final port of call. Here's Captain Thor welcoming us to Sydney, Nova Scotia.
Speaking, and welcome to Sydney, Nova Scotia. We are in the process of tying up the ship and setting the gangways. Once the gangways have been set and the local authorities have cleared the ship, another announcement will be made to let you know that you can go ashore and enjoy your day here in Sydney. Today the gangways will be on deck 1. So you will find your way to the gangways by taking the elevators down to deck 1 on the starboard side. All on board time is at 4:30 and we will sail shortly after. Today the forecast cloudy with chances of rain, 16 degrees Celsius, 60 degrees Fahrenheit, and light winds from the south. There are no changes in the forecast for Hurricane Fiona. She is still heading up north and forecasted to pass this part of Nova Scotia on Saturday. On Saturday, of course, we will be in Bar Harbor. So at the moment, we are just keeping our eye on it, and as long as there are no changes, we should not be affected by the winds forecasted in this area. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you will have a fantastic day in Sydney.
That announcement was recorded in the main dining room just as we were finishing up breakfast. Now, we're going to fast forward a bit to Friday, as I don't have anything more from Sydney, and I'm going to give a bit of context for this next announcement. So, on Friday afternoon, I would guess maybe, well, it's probably sometime afternoon or so, the captain came on the PA, and I think it went to the rooms as well, as he apologized for coming through to the rooms, and he came on to announce that we would not be able to keep our port stop in Bar Harbor, Maine. I guess winds were a bit too heavy, and Bar Harbor is a tendered port where you'd have to take a smaller boat to go ashore. So the weather would not be good for tendering, so they decided to make Saturday an additional sea day, which, of course, Friday was also a sea day. So, personally, I was okay with that, but I know there were other people on our cruise who were disappointed about that. Now, this announcement that you're going to hear was recorded a little while after the captain made his announcement, and this is our cruise director, Rob McNally, going over some activities that would happen and urging people not to come down to the desk to get their refunds for excursions and things like that for Bar Harbor, because those would be posted automatically. This is another one of those rare announcements that came through the cabin, and we'll go ahead now and give this a listen. I don't have the full thing, but I have a good bit of it. So, here's Rob McNally.
Be refunded to your account. So if you book an excursion with us, please don't come on down to the desk. It will automatically be refunded to your account. So no need to go to the desk. Don't forget, today being a sea day as well, lots of activities happening out and about as we speak, referred to the cruise compass. Tomorrow being a sea day again, we will jam-pack that with lots of activities and events. As always, do refresh the app if you are using the app. But don't forget tonight, headline is Showtime, Scott Harris, very funny comedian. Showtimes tonight are 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the theatre. And the final performances of our ice show, 2 o'clock and 4:15, and that's for those who have not seen the first two shows. So that's for the people who've not seen the shows already. Whatever you choose to do, have a lovely day, and I'll see you all around the ship.
Well, that was that. We're going to have another day at sea. Now, believe it or not, we are coming up to the last announcement that I'm going to share with you. Might have a few other things after that. We'll see. But this, actually, I was delighted. I found this one while going through the folder of my recordings, and somehow I did not realize I had recorded this. This was recorded Saturday afternoon. I can't really remember the time. I'm guessing it was maybe a little afternoon. Captain Thor came on to give us a bit of an update on our arrival in Boston on Sunday morning. So, let's go ahead, and here's that.
42 minutes north and 068 degrees and 19 minutes west, heading towards Boston, where we will be arriving tomorrow morning, picking up the pilot at 5:30, and we will be alongside by 7. The weather is improving, the sun is out, and the wind is slowly dying down. We have the wind speed around 30 knots at the moment, sea state approximately 3 meters or 9 feet, and we should see an improvement throughout this afternoon and evening. And by the time we reach Boston tomorrow, the wind will only be about 10 knots from the southwest. Temperature 20 degrees Celsius or 68 degrees Fahrenheit. So we should have a nice day tomorrow as we depart. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to thank you for cruising with us, and I hope you had enjoyed your stay on board. Thank you.
I don't know about you, but I absolutely loved Captain Thor's voice. And, well, also, of course, Rob McNally. Both of them had such a wonderful voice, and I really enjoyed hearing them over the PA system. Now, this next clip is also PA system related. It's not a full announcement, though. It is a clip of one of the other chimes that is used for an attention signal, to let you know an announcement is coming on. And this I recorded as we were getting off the ship. And essentially, it seems to be a reverse of the chime used when the captain came on. So, go ahead and play that. This is very quick, so I'll be right back with you after this. Hopefully you were able to hear that okay. The area that we were waiting in to get off was quite busy, so the quality was not quite up to my standards there for recording, but I'm glad I was still able to capture that. It's very interesting to me that there are those 3 different chimes for an announcement. Of course, the Westminster chime for when the cruise director comes on, and the other 2 chimes for other announcements. And of course, the little ding at the end of announcement, which is kind of neat as well. Now, I'm going to give you a few clips of the elevators on board the Voyager of the Seas. And these were recorded at different times. Now, the last clip I will play, I'm going to play these all kind of back to back, but the last one will be taken from my video of these elevators, and if you want to see more of the elevators on board this beautiful ship, I would encourage you to check out my YouTube channel, where you can find videos of both the forward bank and the aft bank of these beautiful Kone Marine glass elevators. So, here we go. Here are 3 clips of the elevators, and I think you'll agree with me, the voice on these is quite nice.
Deck 8. Doors opening.
Excuse us.
Going up. Doors closing. Deck 9. Doors opening. Going up. Deck 9. Going up.
Look at that view.
Deck 3.
Okay,
Doors opening.
go back up to 12.
Doors closing.
Look at that view. Beautiful. Let's get a view up out the window. Wow, beautiful.
Deck 12.
Okay, and
Doors opening. Going down. Doors closing.
well, that was quite an elevated experience. Loved riding those, though. I mean, the view out of the glass elevators was incredible, and loved that British voice announcing each deck as we stopped on it. And most of the elevators had the doors opening and doors closing announcement, which is pretty unique. Don't really see that very often, at least here in the US. Now, this next clip is a short one, and something that you may hear quite a bit around the ship on formal night. What is that? Well, here it is. Well, that little clip, the sound of cameras, particularly the camera that they were using on formal night, made that little beep every time they took a photo. Now, next up, a sound that scared me quite a bit, actually, the first time I heard it. I'll tell you, that startled me quite a bit when I flushed that toilet and heard how loud it was, because it was not what I was expecting. I mean, I kind of should have expected that it would sound different, but I didn't. So, after that first time, though, of course, I was used to it, and I actually quite like the way it sounds. Sounds different. So, there it is. Well, that is the last recording I have for you all. I mean, what an incredible experience this was. I mean, I'd heard how amazing cruising could be, but, never doing it before. I didn't realize how true it really was. And, now for me anyway, it's opened up a whole love of cruising, which I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. I find myself now looking at prices and looking at other options. I am, though, excited that I am booked on another cruise in September of 2023 on board the Serenade of the Seas, so again, another great Royal Caribbean ship. And very likely I will capture some more audio on that, so that should be exciting. Going through this audio, so many good memories. I'm laughing even thinking about that second recording that I captured and played for you all, where our cruise director announced that our room was ready. So you may have noticed that I kind of was closing our room door to make sure I got a good recording of that announcement. Well, guess what I did? I ended up locking myself out of my room because I couldn't figure out then how to use the CPass card reader on our door. Actually, someone had to come over and show me how to do it. So once I figured it out, though, of course, that didn't happen again. It was just, the whole experience was memorable. This was a gift from a family member. The two of us went. It was kind of my gift for graduating from college. So it was delayed due to COVID. I was supposed to go in 2021. But really, when I think about it, it was worth the extra year's wait. Both of us had a wonderful time. And hey, I got to capture a lot of good audio for you all, and I hope that you enjoyed getting to hear it. Because, you may go on a cruise and not know what you'll hear. So this could also be helpful to you if you're going on your first cruise and getting to hear a bit of what you can expect in terms of how different things sound, what kind of announcements you'll hear on board a ship, and all that. So I hope you've enjoyed this audio compilation. I have had so much fun putting it together and kind of reflecting back on where I was when these audio clips were recorded. And, now putting it together for you all here on YouTube. There may not be much to see because I'm focused on the audio here, but I hope you enjoyed hearing this. And of course, as I always say at the end of my videos, stay tuned. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Turn on notifications, and in case you haven't seen it yet, channel memberships are available. So go ahead and take a look at those options and maybe score yourself some early access to my content. If you go on a cruise, happy cruising. But for now, thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.